Hey guys, it's Ian from Optimize Your Marketing. And in this video, we're going to be walking through Google Analytics 4 and sort of all the reports that come out of the box, and then some of the things that you could do to really enrich your data with Google Search Console and placing that in here. So we're just going to be touching the surface here. And if you have any questions or things that you would like to see more of, then leave them in the comments below. Before we dive in, I wanted to quickly draw your attention to our YouTube channel. So we post 4 to 5 new videos every single week on our YouTube channel, and it's all best practice stuff in the paid media and ad optimization space. So if you want to stay informed and on cutting edge trends, then we highly recommend you follow us and give us a subscription. We promise it's not going to be spam. It's all quality content. I probably spend 4 to 5 hours making content every single day. That's in the form of Spotify podcasts, YouTube videos, LinkedIn posts, and blog posts. We even do daily YouTube shorts. So you'd be in a great space to learn a lot about digital marketing, and we hope that you subscribe. But anyway, let's dive into today's video. So let's talk through Google Analytics 4 and what this is for your business. So we actually just wrote this really nice piece of content on our website. It's all about the marketing tech stack. It talks about all the basic platforms that you would need, as well as the categories of platform. And so this is going to fall in the analytics platform category, where essentially we are measuring quantitative feedback to your website. We will be measuring qualitative feedback on Microsoft Clarity, and that'll be a future YouTube video. So we're inside of the account now. We're on the home screen. So a lot of people really don't like Google Analytics 4. They think that Universal Analytics was better. And I have to say that I kind of agree, but there is still a lot of firepower in Google Analytics. So let's kind of dive in. We're at the home screen. You can see users, conversions, event count, new users. You can obviously swap these out. So if you have different metrics that you're really interested in, then you can throw those in here. So maybe it's sessions, maybe it's engagement rate, what have you. You can throw those in. I'm not going to change it for now, but just wanted to kind of make you aware that pretty much anything in here is configurable, and it's its own dashboard view. So you have like your real-time data here, recently accessed, which we'll kind of get into some of that stuff later. And then there's some suggested for you. So this actually dynamically changes, but for me, it says views by page title and screen. So I could actually change this if I wanted to. I could click into the view. So let's actually just click into this view real quick so I can show you. Whenever you do this, the home screen is nice because it does give you some top of level things to look at in your website. Normally speaking though, when you go into Google Analytics 4, you're looking for something specific, so you're probably not going to be just clicking around willy-nilly. But if you were, you can click down into any one of these reports and you can see a visualization, which they usually give you in the form of a line chart or in a bar chart, and then they give you a table view. Now, things that I think people are not aware of that you can actually do inside of Google Analytics 4 is you can customize the report, which basically means that you would come in here and this will take you over into this customized report screen where you can change the metrics, you can change the dimensions. And so if you want to see more than just page title and screen class and you want to do something else, then you can add it down here. And essentially, a lot of these are going to be grayed out, but you can add other things too. So again, there's a lot of functionality here that is kind of hidden and makes it really difficult for people to find it. That's why people don't like Google Analytics 4. But you could even do cool things like in this general tab, you can do the search term that was searched for or percent scrolled, which is something that you will see in Microsoft Clarity very visually, but you can also get the quantitative feedback inside of Google Analytics 4, even geographic locations, and if you're really technical, you can get into the link classes. But again, there's a lot of cool stuff. I generally hover in this page or screen section, and I like to see page location or landing page and query string. Those tied together is usually pretty helpful. Page referrer is also really helpful. Just seeing where they're coming from. So that could be really nice. But so that's number one. You can always customize this report. If I go back, I want to show you another thing that a lot of people don't really realize too. So I'll get rid of this comparisons. And essentially, you can actually add a nice click down here too. So not only do you have the page title and the screen class, but you can also add maybe perhaps source. So a lot of the times you want to know, where are these people coming from? So source is a great one to throw in here, and you could say session source. And so when you do this, it's going to say, okay, these people came from direct. Oh, these people came from Bing. These people came from Google, et cetera, et cetera. So you're going to see multiple iterations of my home page here. So this is my home page. You're going to see multiple iterations, but these are people that came from direct. And then these are people that came from Google. And then there'll be other ones down here as well. But this is really cool. You could even throw in here, if you wanted to only see Google, then I believe this is a good way to do that. So now we can see all the people that came from Google, the pages that they came from. And then if you were to change these settings to potentially the referrer page, then you could see like where these people came from before they were from Google, or how they got to that page before they were on Google. So it's a really cool thing to throw on. I think the visualizations are okay, but again, it's kind of there. So anyway, we went on a little tangent there. Let's go back to the home screen real quick, just to show you a couple of the other things that are on here before we dive into a couple of the other sections. So again, it's going to give you like a geographic, I would say, report, an acquisition report, a source report, and then it's going to give you all this other stuff, which this is like insights. I feel like this is only going to get better over time, but it's been like 2 years and it's still pretty bad. So it's maybe not, who knows, but you could say view all insights. And sometimes this is interesting. Sometimes you can see some cool stuff here, but again, users spiked, not surprising. If we're running paid ads during that time, our users are going to spike. So anyway, so that's the home screen. Let's go into reports. This is going to be where you spend the most amount of time. So reports, it looks very similar to the home screen. However, if you scroll down, there's going to be some other things. It's just different visualizations. Again, new users by the source, and, obviously the location data here. And then you're going to have some cohort analysis going on. So you can see if someone visited your site, did they actually come back within 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, etc. And you're going to see that during some time frames, no, some time frames, yes. This is just another way of looking at this in a 30-day, 7-day, 8-day view of people that are visiting your site. You have event counts, so we're not going to get into conversion tracking and events, but again, you can create specific events that happen on your website. So for example, they have first visit here and user engagement. And so if you want to track the number of times someone's like clicking on your site, or the first time that they visited your site, or when they scrolled, then you can do that. We also have thank you page visit, which is a custom conversion that we've created. So if someone visits a thank you page, then they trigger this conversion and it shows up in the events. So that's just another thing to keep in mind under Google Analytics. Moving forward, I mean, this is conversions, similar. We don't have purchases on our site because we don't sell anything on the site. So anyway, so you can go through report snapshot, or you can go into this acquisition channel, where this is going to kind of dive into more granular details on the acquisition, primarily in the source perspective. So you're going to see where people came from a source perspective, as well as the pages that they were coming from. So what I was talking about at the beginning of the video, where you can kind of supercharge your data in here, is with Google Search Console. So if you have a Google Search Console, which everyone gets for free, if you own the website, then all you need to do is simply add a text record to your website, and then it will allow your website to be priority indexed inside of Google. Whenever you publish new content, you can submit a priority index, which means that your content will show up higher in Google, or show up sooner higher in Google, because you submitted the priority index. Otherwise, you have to wait for Google to crawl the web, which happens every couple of weeks. So it could be a while before your content actually shows up higher in Google. So in this situation, though, if you have Google Search Console, you get a lot more granular details on the landing pages and the queries that people were typing in. So I could see perhaps what someone typed in before they visited my page, which is going to help me understand what kind of keywords I want to target as a result. We have sessions again down here, which by the manual source. So Clutch is a review service that we have that we've gotten some clicks from. there's other places as well. But anyway, I'm not going to dive too much deeper into acquisition. That was the overview. If you go into user acquisition, it's going to give you just the source data because this is the first primary channel group. That's basically what we're looking at. You can see some of this behavioral data, but I kind of like to look at this behavioral data in another view, which would follow up in engagement. So we're going to go into engagement now. Let's click into it. Let's go into overview. Behavioral data like this is useful to figure out how long someone's on the page, how many pages they visited, and the average events per user that happen on your website. So you're going to see this again, event count. You have other things here as well. Again, this is sort of that cohort stuff that we saw. User stickiness is an interesting one. Again, this is sort of utilizing that cohort data, but kind of giving you some information on how they're interacting and if they're coming back to your site, and if so, what are they digesting. So again, one of the ones that I really like that's really helpful is just pages and screens. I just want to know, where are these people going? So what pages are they visiting? And then I could also type in source here. So again, this is like the best way to get some quick data on your campaign. So why is this not working? I could go into platform device. You could even do device too. So if we wanted to look at device, for example, we could see mobile or computer. I guess a lot of this is not set. Sometimes that's going to happen. Let's try to find something else that's interesting. So traffic source, you could say perhaps I want to see what's the manual session, manual source, and I could see, okay, they came from Google or Bing, or they came from another location. So we're starting to get in the verge of rambling here, so I just wanted to walk through the account with you. Obviously, when you integrate Google Search Console, it gets placed in here. You have user attributes and text, so let's get into that real quick. It's a little different than what we were looking at before. User attributes is going to be primarily countries, so you can just see where your users are coming from. You can even get down to cities, sometimes gender, but a lot of times not, because of just like privacy that's on the internet now. Interests, again, sometimes not because of privacy, but this is interesting data that you can see, languages spoken, and then demographic details, audiences. These are just click downs from the overview. I'm not going to go into them. Let's go into tech, because this is going to show the device types. So we can see that 100% of them have come from web, and operating systems, desktop, mobile, tablet, browsers, device category. It's a similar thing than before. And then even screen resolution. So if you see a lot of your people are coming from a weird screen resolution, perhaps your website's maybe not mobilely optimized, it might be worth updating that. So again, you're usually coming into Google Analytics and you have something in mind that you want to answer, and so you're trying to figure that out. But if you are just clicking around, you can find some interesting things. You do have a library down here, so if you ever wanted to create a bunch of new reports and create a whole new section on the left here, perhaps maybe it's for like your inbound marketing efforts or your inbound content system, then you could create a new collection, and that would show up on the left-hand side with the reports that you create there. So if you do have reports that you tend to go back to all the time, then you can create them. That'll be another video that we kind of talk through, as well as the Explore tab. So the Explore tab, this is going to be your very specific kind of reports that you want to see. So as you can see, you have free forms, funnel exploration, path exploration. You can actually see the user journeys. You can see what the drop-off points are. If you have a sign-up process, this is a really nice one. So for example, if they visit one page on your site, they click a button that takes them to the sign-up page, and then on the sign-up page, there's another URL. It's always good to kind of have different URLs during a sign-up process, so you can create these funnel explorations and see where people are dropping off, because then you can optimize that content. But again, this is going to be content for another video because it gets very complex, and we'll get into it later. The last thing we're going to talk through before we finish up here is advertising. So advertising is pretty cool. We don't have a lot of data in here to kind of walk through, but you can see conversion paths. And so this is one that I really like. And like I said, I don't really have data in here, unfortunately. because we aren't running as many ads as I'd probably like to for our company at the time. But you could actually see the kinds of content that they are interacting with in different touch points. Okay, so disregard. I was trying to find another company. I could not find one that had like a great visualization I wanted to show here. But when you are running ads, this is going to populate with some really cool data on early touch points, mid touch points, and late touch points before they actually turn into a conversion. So you can see the kinds of data that they're digesting. So an example of this would be, oh, they clicked a Google ad and they went to our landing page, but they did not convert. Middle touch point is they researched or they typed in our company name and went right to our blog, and then maybe digested a couple of blogs before they left. Late touch point is they clicked one of our retargeting ads on LinkedIn or Facebook, and then they filled out the form and turned into a conversion. And so you can see all of those, and they would show up down here. You could see the paths in a table format or in a visual format. So again, it's really cool. Sorry I don't have one to share with you right now, but that would be a great usage of Google Analytics 4. So with that being said, I know this video was a little bit longer than usual, but we're basically just talking through the generic usage of this analytics platform that is completely free that we would highly recommend you install on your website. If you have any questions on how to install this, we actually have YouTube videos on how to do this. We have a whole series on how to install your marketing tech stack. So if you're interested in that, be sure to check out our home screen where it is listed as a featured playlist. But without further ado, I will get you back on your day. Thank you so much for spending 20 minutes with me to walk through Google Analytics 4, and I'll see you in the next video.